Thank you for joining us. I'm Susanna Hodges, and I have with me Darren Kelly. And we want to welcome Darren to Tigertown TV and also Village Center Press. He is an expert contributor with Auburn Living Magazine. And Darren, your business is 1108 Comprehensive Investigations and Forensics.
That's correct.
Now, I know people have an idea of what investigations is. So why don't you just kind of run us through some of the things that you do in investigations?
Well, we do what people would typically think of as, that a private investigator would do. And one of the first things is we'll catch cheating spouses. That's a very small part.
Okay.
It is a part of what we do, but it's just a small part, and it's atypical. I would characterize things like that as traditional private investigative activities, and we do that. However, we put a more modern spin on it. We use GPS tracking where it's legally feasible, and that way we determine patterns of movement to kind of hone down and focus our time and efforts, and so there's very little, if any, wasted time to be able to get a more complete picture and determine whether or not there is any impropriety. But that's, again, a smaller part. The bigger picture, and what I specialize in, is the future, what I consider to be the future of investigations, and that is digital forensics. Mobile phones, smartphones, Android, iPhone. The software that I have invested a great deal of time and expense into is state-of-the-art, and it will capture data up to and including deleted data that people think is gone. It's not gone. It's always there. From iPhone, the latest model iPhone 14 and their 16.3 iOS, the operating system, the most recent, all Android phones. And we go over into PCs, laptops, Windows-based, MacBooks, and most I can capture data on. If not, I will let you know right up front, so we're not wasting one another's time.
Okay.
But this is used both in the private sector and in the for law enforcement purposes. We partner with law enforcement agencies, district attorneys' offices that need digital forensics in their cases, and they don't have it in their area, or they have to contract it out. I'm a local source that is certified and licensed, and I can provide that service to the local law enforcement and courts.
Okay. Now tell me a little bit about your background, because you have a very interesting background. What got you into this line of work?
When I graduated high school, up the road in LaGrange, Georgia, I went directly into the United States Marine Corps. And when I left the Marine Corps, I lived several places all over the world. New York City, over in Europe, so on and so forth, and I worked in law enforcement for a time over in Georgia. I decided that wasn't the route I wanted to go, so I used my GI Bill and other resources, and I gained a bachelor's and a master's degree and political science with an emphasis in law and research methods and statistical analysis. From there, I got into fraud investigations for IT and telecom. Started with the old Sprint Nextel, actually with MCI, and then that's WorldCom was defunct since 2005. Sprint Nextel, and then quickly moved into a company, a web conferencing and teleconferencing company with 8 business units worldwide, and built the fraud department with one other individual from the ground up. We would contract with government entities, work hand in hand with Secret Service, U.S. District Attorney's offices, and other law enforcement agencies. Basically what we did was track terrorists and organized crime all over the world who were using wire fraud transactions. They were committing wire fraud on a grand scale, and then they were funneling that money to terror cells. I caught them from sending things to Syria, Iraq, Cairo, Saudi Arabia, from places in Europe, places in the Ring of Fire, which is like the Philippines, Indonesia, so on and so, Thailand, all the way over in South America, Rio de Janeiro, you name it. There's not one place that these people weren't going to commit this, and then sending it on to the places in the world that could do the most damage with this money. And we We put a stop to any and all, I'm proud to say, that came across our platform, and one of the primary offenders, we actually were able to help authority Interpol and our U.S. Secret Service bring them to justice.
Okay, so you've taken all that experience and brought it into your business here.
Yes.
A comprehensive 1108 comprehensive investigations
That
and
is correct.
forensics. So, kind of give me a few ways that people, but they may not even know they need private investigation. What are some of the triggers that you would say to people, if this is happening to you, you might need an investigator?
Well, as far as the marital and relationship
That kind of
side
thing.
of it. Outside of that, you digital forensics. Well, you may own a business. Now you could. Well, let me start with this. Yes, you could have something personally going on inside of your family that you may need someone to look into your smartphone or your laptop. But let's say you own a business. You're a company or even a large corporation. Doesn't matter the size, and you supply your employees with company smartphones, iPhones, Androids.
Right.
You want to see what's been going on. Maybe you suspect something.
Okay.
You bring it to me.
You can find it.
And initially we will do the initial analysis. Yes, I can break the encryption and get in, and we'll move on from there. I keep a person updated on the process. It is forensically sound. Chain of custody is documented. We present you with the findings, and then you make the determination as to what you want to do from there. You could have a teenager. It doesn't matter if it's high school or college. We all know that teenagers don't exactly do the smartest thing or the most
Right.
or the best thing for them,
yeah.
right? And you want to make sure you're not wasting your money. You want to make sure your asset, your vehicle,
Yeah.
is not part of any kind of thing that could get your child or you in trouble. Now, by way of insurance or lawsuits, you want to make sure they're going to class.
Right.
You want to make sure that of whatever you want to make sure of. It doesn't matter. You own that phone, just like the employer that's providing it to their employees. You take that phone, you hand it to me. I do the exact same thing.
Okay. All right.
So,
very interesting. So how would someone get in touch with you?
all you would have to do is go to 1108 investigations, make sure the S is on the end, .com.
Okay.
And my email address is Darren Kelly at 1108investigations.com, and my telephone number. You can send me an email, text, give me a phone call. There's a form on the website that you could fill out if you prefer that way, and it will send to me, hey, this person has an issue and they'd like to get in touch with you.
Okay.
Whatever your preferred method of contact is, if you'd like for me to handle everything on the phone, if you'd like to meet somewhere in person, doesn't matter to me, whatever time of day.
Okay.
Could be a holiday, could be the weekend, could be the middle of the night. If your issue is that crucial to you and it's that concerning, don't hesitate.
All right. Thank you so much, Darren. It was
Thank
a
you.
pleasure talking to you. And thank you for joining us.